What is up, guys? It's going to be that time again for the blue spoilers. I didn't think that Masters would ever actually have another set, but Bad Dad likes to surprise us all with a new set that is going to be coming out. It's going to be called Beyond Generations, and it's going to be the 25th set of Dragon Ball. So the first leader that was spoiled is going to be the blue Gotenks leader. For the ability, it does have the ability to attack. Look at the top 5 cards from your top of your deck, and allows you to add either a blue Goten, a Trunks Youth, or a Goten. So very important skill at the beginning of the game to be able to look for one of the 3 cards off the top of your 5 cards, because you're going to be able to need to Union Fusion into a Gotenks so that you're able to awaken quickly. The awaken condition requires you to have 4 or less life, of course, or if you have 2 or more energy and a card with Gotenks in its card name. That includes the Unison as well. I guess you don't necessarily have to go into the Union Fusion to do his ability to awaken. As long as you have a card with Gotenks in his card name, you're able to draw 1, untap 1, and then take life until you have 6, and then flip the card over. On the backside, he does have kind of like a mid ability to not be able to draw on an attack. So it's kind of important that the leader is able to attack to even compete with the leaders of this particular format. However, it does make up for it by being able to draw whenever you play a Gotenks card from anywhere, as long as it has a character name Gotenks on it. You're also able to circumvent the whole you can only having only 1 blue extra card on your battle area, so long as they all have different names. So as long as all the Z extra cards in your battle area all have different names, you can have as many as you want on the battle area. So it's kind of cool because this leader can go into many different types of different moves that Gotenks can go into. So it's really nice that this pretty much there's a bunch of Z extras that can complement this leader. Auto also happens when your blue Gotenks is played by Union skill, so you're going to be playing these quite frequently, and then you're able to free play a Z extra from your Z deck. So because the Z deck is now at 10, since my last spoiler video, the Z deck has now increased to 10 cards, and also the Z marker or the energy marker is now a thing, and there's also no mulligan. So because of that, decks are a lot less consistent because there's no mulligan rule. So you're going to have to find a way to pretty much play this archetype by making it as consistently as possible without breaking. So we're going to go into the deck profile, but after this, I'm going to go into a gameplay video so you guys can kind of see how the deck kind of works turn by turn. To start us off here, we're going to have the Piccolo Fusion Trading. This is the 1 drop that you want to have in your opening hand because when you do play it for 1 energy, you're able to look for either a Goten, a Trunks Youth, or a Gotenks, all with an energy cost of 6 or less, and it has to be blue, and it adds it to your hand, but that's kind of a staple requirement. The other ability that Piccolo can do is by paying 1 energy here, without even sacking him off the board, and you have to have 4 or more energy in this leader lock. You get to add 1 Goten to your hand and your Trunks Youth to your hand from the drop area. They both have to be skillless. And then you get to reoccur them back to your hand. So since you're going to be Union Fusion quite often, you're going to need this guy at least at 4 because he's a good starter, as well as a card that's good later on in the game as well. So that's why I play 4 copies of it. I like to go only 3 of each of the vanillas. I typically don't want to open up with too many of each. I want to be able to search these cards, and the ways that you search these cards are by Goten or by Trunks. Warm-up moves. All these cards at the end of turn bounce back to your hand. And then search the skillless copy of your complementary component. So, for example, here the Goten here can search for the Trunks here from the deck, and the Trunks can search for the Goten skillless. So they go back to your hand. So that means you can attack with it if you're going second for 15k, and then at the end of the turn you get to bounce them back. So basically, it's kind of like a storm mechanic, being able to put those cards back to your hand as sort of a combo power. But you're mainly bouncing them back to your hand so you can do the Union Fusion. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to do Union Fusion when they're on the board. So that's really nice of them. They're also able to be played for 1 energy. So that's really cool. So those are pretty much from here to here are all the cards that you want to start with. The cards you want to open up with still or search into are your Gotenks, because the Gotenks here is going to enable your backside of your leader. Just to remind you guys that if you do play a Gotenks card, character card, with the Union skill, you get to draw a card. So some of these already have the ability to draw cards on Union Fusion alone. So you're able just to replace the cards that you discard in order for you to Union Fusion. So imagine giving up a Goten and a Trunks. Those two cards get sent to the drop area, so you can play your Union Fusion. And then the ability here to draw a card, as well as your leader backside to draw a card, allows you to replace those two cards that you basically discarded. So it makes it so that the backside leader isn't really generating a free plus. The only way it generates a free plus is if you're able to play free Z extra cards from your Z deck with an energy cost of 3. So that's kind of important because all these are all different moves that Gotenks can do, and they're all donut oriented. Because they're all donut oriented, it's going to be making up for a very fun archetype that you can play for the set. Okay, so let's go through the Gotenks here. This Gotenks is important because it's a free play Union Fusion, so you don't have to pay any energy. You're able to draw a card, and it also has Deflect. So you do need to play a free Union Fusion because that allows you to keep an energy open so that you can play your Z extra cards. A lot of these, especially the Super Donut Chain, requires that you have to pay 1 energy on your opponent's turn to basically block your opponent from attacking with one of their battle cards, and it also cannot be used for a combo. In addition to that, it's almost like a Crusher Ball, if you guys remember set 1, but it doesn't put it in rest mode. It just makes it so that they can attack and be comboed with. But anyways, it does replaces itself with a charging Ultra Boo Volleyball. This card is really important because it allows you to essentially clear any of your opponent's battle card with barrier or ignoring barrier. So any battle card that has an energy cost greater than their current energy, and it bottom decks it. So that's really nice. So you can do this as an activate main, so long as you're able to pay the Z energy to the drop area. So a very complicated little form chain here so that you're able to do some cool plays. The Z Unison, we'll go into this real quick before the rest of the Gotenks. But this is a very important Z Unison. However, I felt that they should have been able to get a +1 as opposed to a neutral, because you have to place 1 card from the bottom the deck from your hand, and then you get to add 1 blue skillless Goten, Trunks, or Youth from your deck or drop to your hand. So this allows you to search for one or the other, but you can't search for both, which kind of makes them a lot less useful, because some hands in my playtesting, I found that I can't even Union Fusion the second time or third time in the same turn because I don't have the components in my hand. And had my SS3 Unison here be able to search for 2 materials, I would have been able to do that pretty frequently. So that kind of makes it so it's kind of kind of bummer that he has the +3 or 2 ability. So the -3 ability is kind of lackluster, I would say. He does boost himself up to a 25k for 1 turn, and you have to be able to use this ability when you have 4 more energy and 2 or more Z extras in your battle area. So so much stipulation, and all it does is just returns 2 of your opponent's battle cards back to their hand. So I don't really feel that this -3 ability is that good. Maybe if it was bottom decking the cards rather than bouncing back to your opponent's hand, I would probably like this card a little more. But for the most part, it's just there so that you can quickly awaken on your front side because it is a Gotenks name. So there, we're going to go back to the Gotenks. So this ability also allows you to, whenever it does attack, allow you to combo a blue card from your drop area, and then with the skills negated, as long as it has a 5k combo power. So that's helpful so that you can Z-charge pretty well. So once you're able to dump them for Union Fusion, you can just place them in the Z energy and then do more plays afterwards. You will need some Z energy for this because even though you're not hard playing the Z extras out of there, you are using the abilities here. So for example here, this card right here requires that you have to place a Z energy to the drop area to remove one of your opponent's battle cards. And you also have to remove this card as well. So you are having to use the Z energy. And I do incorporate one of these cards from the set. If you guys don't know what this is, it's kind of like the Majin Buu Unison back when blue was really dominant, but it's not quite the same. It has an activate main where you -1, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place it in the bottom of the deck. And you get to switch one of your mono blue energy to active mode. So much like the Majin Buu Unison, but you're -1. But at least you're able to clear a battle card ignoring barrier, which is kind of nice. The other one is you get the -1 as well on your opponent's turn when they do declare an attack, and you get to choose one of your opponent's battle card and negates its skill, and it can't attack for the turn. So it's really useful because if you're getting hit by a dual attack battle card, you're able to choose that battle card and it can't attack anymore for the turn, even if it does restand itself from dual attack or triple attack, whatever it is called nowadays. It also has a blocker ability and a dual attack ability. So the fact that you can just play this out from your Z energy or from the Z deck using your Z energy and as well as your regular energy, it's really nice. So sometimes you're able to even pay over the 4 energy to play this guy too. So if you really want him to have more markers as a result, that's the things you can do. The one thing that this card lacks over the Boo Unison is that it doesn't draw you a card every turn. So what it does do though is that it's a free card that you can play out of your Z deck without having to pitch a card out of your hand. Basically, when you're playing the Majin Buu Unison, you're replacing itself for the first time, and then so on and so forth. But it makes it so you don't have to hard draw the Unisons and play it, whereas this one you could just play it from the Z deck. So the other Gotenks, the mid-range options here are going to be the Energy Storm Dance. It does cost 1 energy to play this guy. It's a rare out of the set. And then activate main if you have 2 or more blue Z extra cards in your battle area, which is kind of hard to do, but you can switch this card to active mode and they add a blue skillless Goten or Trunks Youth from your drop to your hand. So this allows you to basically reoccur the resource that you gave up for the Union Fusion and then get it back to your hand. So he is kind of like a +1 in a sense, and then since you're attacking for 20k, you're going to be generating more value because your opponent has to combo out of the attack if they want to survive the damage. And then the boss monster of the deck, the boss battle card of the deck, it's called the Energy Storm Explosion. This is the card that you want. It's much like Grim Reaper from the Green Gotenks leader. You pay 3 though, so it costs a little bit more. But it does have double strike and dual attack. And so you pay 3, you draw 2 cards. So you're already replacing the 2 fusion materials to make this guy. And then on top of that, if you're using the Gotenks leader on the backside, you're able to draw an additional card. So your leader does have a Z battle card, so it makes sense that they would make a more powerful version of a Union Fusion. This card allows you to bottom deck one of your opponent's battle cards. But it doesn't ignore barrier, but it does switch one of your energy to active mode. So basically you're paying 2 energy to play this guy in net gain or net cost. So that allows you to at least keep 1 energy open so you can play your donut strategies out of your Z from your Z deck. So the donut strategy chain. So we're going to go into the other moves that he has. I do play 1 copy of the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack. This allows you to play 2 ghost tokens with Revenge, which is really kind of nice. And it also allows you to basically put 2 battle cards in to play, but it doesn't have any combo power. So this is the weakest one out of the moves because you have to place a Z energy in the drop, and you also have to have 2 or more Z extras in your battle after you send this off to the game. So you're going to have a total of 3. So this is like a really late game option, even though you're only hitting for 15k each. So the other ones are like this card is called the Galactic Donut Technique. So when it's placed in the battle area, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle card that costs 5 or less and bottom deck it. Another one is place one of your Z energy in your drop and remove this card from the game, and then at the end of your turn, switch up to one of your blue energy to active mode. So this is kind of like a contingency plan. If you tapped out for some reason, you're able to restand 1 energy at the end of your turn, which is really nice. Then we have the Die Missile Barrage. I love the names of these cards because they're very much in line with the infancy of the Sun Goten and the Trunks brothers, or the duo. So they're very childish, so they make up these funny names for their moves. But anyways, if you have 3 or more energy, you get to place one of your Z energy to the drop, remove this card from the game, and then choose up to one of your blue Gotenks battle cards, switch it to active mode, and it gets plus 5k for the turn. So that's really nice because then you can hit for 35k with this guy here. Because you're able to attack twice, but it also allows you to kind of creates like a finisher for this guy to attack twice. 35 dual attack double strike is still very good, but it's not quite like Grim Reaper because Grim Reaper can at least replace itself when it gets removed from the battle area. So it doesn't have that mechanic, so I'm kind of sad that it did not incorporate that strategy. For the SCR of choice, we decided to play the new one out of the set. It's called Boo Unlimited Majin. This card right here, really strong because it's pretty much generic for any blue leader. As long as your leader is blue or a Majin Buu card, even a Majin Buu from a different color. I can imagine this being used in the green Majin Buu. You can pay this card for 2 energy and play it. And then when it does declare an attack, it doesn't have a deflect, by the way, but I mean, do you really need deflect nowadays when it's 8 cost? So when this card attacks, your opponent reveals their hand, and then it chooses up to 2 battle cards with an energy cost of 7 or less among them, and then you get to combo them. So if, for example, you were playing the mirror match, I imagine if you're able to combo a super combo from your opponent's hand, it can be pretty devastating because you're able to proc the draw ability, because this card doesn't say that it negates the card skill when it places in your combo area. So if you're taking your opponent's super combo in the blue mirror match, and the requirements are correct for that super combo, you're able to draw a ton of cards off this card, as well as being able to nick 2 cards out of your opponent's hand and have free hand knowledge. I think this card is going to be a blue staple moving forward, so long as we have more Masters product going forward. And that doesn't stop there. Activate battle once per turn. Choose one of your opponent's keyword. Choose one of the keywords on the skill in your combo area, and it gains that skill until your opponent's battle skill, until the end of your opponent's turn. So, if you're, for example, you see a barrier card in your opponent's hand, this card can gain the barrier because it steals the combo, the keyword skill out of the combo area. So I can imagine this can be really useful in some cases. If you give it double strike, triple strike, no matter what this finisher it may be, then this card will be very good. So if the deck is, if you're playing against an older deck, for example, and you play this card, a lot of older decks have good battle cards that have keyword skills on them. You can basically use those cards to your advantage and gain the double strike. So nowadays, a lot of the Z battle cards are being used. It's very hard to use the keyword skills out of that because it's coming out of the Z deck. So you can't really use those. So the more reliant the deck is on the Z deck, the very less likely that this skill would actually be useful. But in older decks where they're main decking copies of double strike, quad strike, this card is just a menace to many different decks. So for only 2 energy, you're able to do so much. And then it doesn't have, the only stipulation is that you have to have 3 or more energy for this one. So I would say a very good 10 out of 10 blue SCR. So definitely game defining for sure. So the other cards are basically, so let's go into the super combo here. The super combo is pretty much power crept the disciplined Saiyan warrior, which is a Vegeta from GT series. Because this card can be used without having the 4 life requirement. All you have to do is be a blue leader, and all your energy has to be blue like the other one, and you also had to have 2 or more Z energy. So you don't have to wait until you have 4 or less life. You could just simply use this card, bottom deck 1 card from your hand, and then draw 2 cards, and then it gets 10k power. So already really good. It's basically a replacement to the GT Vegeta, so definitely see more of this played in the future. For the most part, yeah, I also play this Boo too because it's a barrier blocker that can come out of your opponent's turn for 1 energy, so long as you're able to combo it. And then when it blocks or attacks, you're able to combo a card from your drop area. So even on your opponent's turn, you can Z charge, which is a really nice addition. The card that's old that I do play in this deck is called Quick Thinking Gotenks. It's a union skill that allows you to draw 2 cards as well, and allows you to draw a card on attack. So he replaces himself as well as the 2 materials that make up him, and he also has critical. So in the event that you want to play a different Gotenks on different turns, you can definitely play the Quick Thinking Trunks Gotenks. So a very strong card. And then we have the staple blue cards such as Peel Off, Defending Friends, and the D Magic. I think I've gone through every single one of them, but for the most part, yeah. So I've gone through all of them. So now for the next portion of this video, I'll be doing a gameplay video. So stay tuned for that one. All right, so now it's going to be the gameplay video. So this allows you guys to see the turn-by-turn progression series of the deck. So it allows you to see how the deck can flow. So I'm going to start off with the opening hand here. So the cool thing about, or the new thing about this is that there's not going to be a selective mulligan. So if you find that your hand is inadequate from the beginning, you probably want to mulligan it away. Look at my hand. I do have a way to be able to view infusion in the next turn. So the next turn is important because then you're able to basically awaken. If you guys are wondering why I play the Heroic Prospect, it's because I do have a Z Unison access. And so long as I'm able to have a Unison, I'm able to pay this off for 1 energy and then makes my opponent cost stuff. So the Z Unison being better has made this card a lot better. So what we're going to do here is we're going to charge our D Magic. I know D Magic can be useful in other parts of the game, but for learning purposes, we're actually going to charge it here. So we're going to pay the 1 energy here, and we're going to play the Trunks, as Trunks can be played for 1 energy, so long as we have a Gotenks blue Gotenks leader. At the end of turn, return this card back to your owner's hand, and then it adds your Goten. So we're going to end our turn here, but before we do that, we want to put out our life, because I always forget. So we put our life out, so we're going to return back the Trunks at the end of the turn here, and then we're going to add the Gotens to our hand here. So adding the Goten skill list, here we are, we found it. So by the next turn, we're able to Union Fusion. So right now what we're going to do now is shuffle our deck, and then it's our opponent's turn. The question is whether we want to Z-Charge, and that sounds like a good idea as well. So what we're going to do here instead is we actually are going to Z-Charge. So we're going to Z-Charge the warm-up move here. This allows us to Z-Charge one, and then if they do have another attack for some reason, which is very unlikely, we can take the damage. We're not going to take the damage because we're going to down to 6 anyways. So for the next turn, we're going to draw a card here on our next turn. We found another Gotenks here. We do want to play the Gotenks out as well as this Gotenks, but I think I want to go for charging this one because we're going to play this one instead. So the first thing first, we're going to pay the 1 energy here. We're going to send off the Trunks off to the drop area, and then we are going to pay for the Gotenks here. So the Gotenks Unison is useful if we need to use it. It comes in with 1 marker. From here, we're going to attack with our leader first because we want to generate a value on the front side, and we're going to look at the top 5 cards of our deck. So this allows us to add any materials that we might need. So we're going to add a Trunks because it's our only choice, and then we're going to shuffle away our deck. Okay, and then from here, we're going to, they're probably just going to take the damage. We can also awaken as well. I think we're going to do the awakening plan here. So we're going to awaken here, untap 1, draw 1, and then we're going to take life until we have 6. So it looks like we drew our Gotenks again to be able to free play this guy out. So we're going to keep this guy out. So what we're going to do now is pay the 1 energy. We're going to Union Fusion. So this guy's really useful because he could hit for 20k. So we're going to send the Goten and the Trunks to the drop area, and that's going to proc the ability to draw a card, and it's going to proc this ability to draw a card, and then we're able to play a Z battle or Z extra card from our Z deck. So the first thing we want to add right off the bat is going to be the Super Donut chain because it creates a chain, I guess. And so now we have the chain up and ready. So now we have this up, and we do need the 1 energy to play this ability to pretty much lock your opponent's battle card. We're probably going to use this ability too as well. So yeah, we're going to do the plus up 2. We're going to bottom deck a card that we don't need for the situation. Let's bottom deck the Trunks skillless because we already have one in our drop area. And then we're going to find a Goten that is skillless and add it to our hand. So we're going to add the skillless Goten here so that we can at least Union Fusion a second time. So from there, we're going to attack for 20k, and then if we had another Z battle, we can actually play it. Actually, hold up. So before we swing with this, we were actually going to play the free Union here. So we're going to play the 1 energy to play the free one, discarding our Goten and our Trunks. And we're going to draw only 1 card because our leader already is only a once per turn when we do a Union Fusion. So that's going to, but the other ability is not a once per turn, so we can play another Z battle. So we can play another Z extra, I'm sorry. So the next Z extra card we want to play is probably going to be the Galactic Donut technique, because this card at least allows you to restand energy at the end of turn, but we can also bottom deck one of your opponent's battle card that costs 5 or less. So we're going to use that ability soon. So what we're going to do now is attack with our Gotenks first, and then we're going to combo with one of our cards. So we're going to combo away our Trunks and put it in the Z energy. So this way that if we do tap out on this card right here at the end of turn, we can actually just use his ability to restand that same energy. But we're not going to do that right now. So now we can swing with this guy. Now that we have 2 or more Z extras, we're going to swing with this guy. He's going to hit for 20, and then we can restand his ability as an activate main because we now have 2. And then we can add a skillless Goten or Trunks. So since we do have a Trunks and a skillless, we're going to add the skillless Goten because we already have a Trunks in our hand. So already off to a good start. We already have done 2 Union Fusions. We can attack again with our Gotenks because it's now in active mode. And then we can leave the last energy up for any sort of a defense. So already at 2 energy, we have 2 Union Fusions, 2 Z extras, and a Z Unison already out on board. And we have 1 Z energy at the end of it. So on our opponent's turn, we can use the Heroic Prospect here because it's now reduced down to 1. So I imagine if your opponent wants to attack with their leader first, you can just play this card out and then just negate the attack. If for any reason they do attack with a different card besides a battle card, you can actually Z-charge this card, and then it makes your Goku defense live already. So I imagine the Unison won't take any damage from anything because you're negating the leader attack with the Prospect, and then we're able to pretty much stabilize pretty quickly, even though we have a pretty mediocre hand of 6 cards in our hand. So not very much combo power, but at least we're able to negate attacks. So on our following turn, we're going to draw a card here. We do have the ability here to play this guy out. So he's kind of our boss monster. So what we're going to do here is Z-charge. Actually, we're going to charge our Piccolo since no, we're going to charge our Gotenks here because we do plan on using this ability to restand an energy. So what we're going to do here is swing with everybody first, restand this guy, and then get the Gotenks out of our trunks out of our hand, our graveyard from our drop area, and then add it back to our hand here. So after we swing with it twice, we can hit it for it again. This guy doesn't need to swing to draw a card because we want a Union Fusion. So now we can swing with this guy, and then we can Z-charge once more. So let's Z-charge a Trunks. So now we have 3 Z energy already, so already off to like a huge advantage here. Then we're going to pay the 3 energy here once we swing with 2 battle cards to play our Grim Reaper, quote-unquote Grim Reaper. Energy Storm Explosion. We're going to pitch away our Trunks as well as our Goten, and that's going to proc the ability to draw 2. So we're going to draw 2, and then we're going to draw off the leader ability, and we're going to bottom deck one of our opponent's battle cards, and then it switches up to one of our energy at the end of turn. So we don't really have to restand an energy using this. We could just restand with this guy. But if you want to do that, you could. So now we can play yet another Z extra. So we're going to play our Kamikaze attack. And at this point in time, we can actually play this to play 2 ghost tokens. So we're actually going to do that right away after we swing with this guy twice. So we're going to swing with him twice. We're going to use the Kamikaze attack, sending this off or removing this from the game. And then now you're able to send this off to the drop because that's a requirement for doing so. And now we can insert our tokens. So we're going to insert ghost token. Okay. And then we're going to clone this out. So now we have our 2 ghost tokens already off to the good start, and then we can attack twice for 15k each. And then now we can, at the end of turn, we can swing our leader, and at the end of turn, we can use his ability to restand energy. But if we want 2 energy, then we can use his ability here to place this into the remove from play, and then we get to switch one of our energy off as long as we send one. So now at the end of turn, we're able to switch 2 energy. So that means with the offense that we have here, we're at least able to use the Heroic Prospect yet again. And we also have Defending Friends, assuming we have enough, we need to have 3 or more Z energy. So it's going to be hard to proc this ability. So I imagine that's going to be difficult. But if you had, for example, the Majin Buu blocker that comes out of the set, where if you combo with this guy, you can play this guy for 1 energy. So that's another way you can actually use this guy as well if you had it. But in this case, we don't have it, and we don't have 3 Z energy yet. So we're going to have to find a way to put 3 Z energy so that we can play our Defending Friends Floodgate. So we also forgot to use this ability to mark it up. So in the event that we want to be able to look for another Trunks and Goten, we could, but we don't need it because we already have the 2 Gotenks. So the only thing we haven't done so far is to be able to utilize certain cards. I mean, looking at the deck here, we haven't done the ultimate yet. So let's pretend we have that just to show you guys how it kind of works. Other than that, we've already kind of gone through the archetype really fast. Looking through our Z extra, we haven't done this move yet. I believe we haven't done Die and Burst Missile Barrage yet. We also haven't used the Donut Chain. So we're going to use the Donut Chain in case we wanted to use that 1 energy last turn to remove this from the game, and then play our Donut Chain, our Ultimate Volleyball. And this allows us to use the Activate main to bottom deck a barrier card. So a lot of removals and a lot of control already, because this card pretty much locks your opponent from one of your opponent's battle card. Then we can use the Ultimate Rare here for 2 energy, look at their hand, and then we have a dual attack. So this is pretty good because you get to steal a keyword skill from your opponent's battle cards in their hand, and so that's going to be really devastating, especially in this deck. So what else can we do here? We can also pretty much combo for free since we have 2 Z energy. The one thing this deck does lack, though, is a Z leader. So maybe they'll release a Z leader for this leader, but for now, is unable to draw a card and stuff like that. Don't forget to use the ability to play another Z extra card for free when we play this guy. So we're actually going to play another Z energy Z card, so we can play another donut if we wanted to for free. So already kind of crazy that we have all this offense as well as defense. But for the most part, I think I already covered most of it. The only thing I haven't covered is the unison. So let's say if you want to play with the 4 energy to play this guy, you definitely could do that. and then we're able to replace this after we use his ability to -3, or -3 to bounce back 2 cards from your battle area, your opponent's battle area, and then it gets 20k. So swing with that at least once before you replace it. So let's replace it now. So now we have a dual attack blocker, so we can attack once with this guy, use the -1 ability to bottom deck another card, and this allows you to restand in energy as well. So yeah, very promising leader for the next set, and it's already off to a good start. Seeing the power creep happen in the next set is really nice to see. But for that's all we want to talk about for this particular leader, and I'll see you guys on the next spoiler video for the next blue leader, which is Majin Buu. So I'll catch you guys on that one. Peace.